ladies and gentlemen. First thing first, I'm going to jump in with my primer before I tell you what we're going to be doing today. So, one thing all of us have been doing more this year than we did before was looking at ourselves through the little camera on a Zoom meeting, or on a Google Meets meeting, or on a video call. And I know you're supposed to be looking at the other person or looking at the camera so it looks like you're making eye contact, but I think we all spend a fair amount of time looking at ourselves in the bottom of the screen. And I'm sure you've noticed that you don't look the way you think you're gonna look when you actually see yourself on screen. There's even been a number of TikToks being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is how people see me, and I can't believe this is what I look like. But I think we've all had to make peace with what we look like. However, I had a Zoom meeting the other day to do an interview, and it was the first time I had to look at myself through a webcam. Usually I get to look at myself through my phone's camera, and its quality is obviously better than the type of camera you get on a computer. And man, my makeup did not look how I thought it looked. Not only did the colors come across differently, but nothing was as intense as I thought it was, while other things were more intense than I thought it was. So today I thought I'd do my makeup looking at myself in the webcam. And what you're seeing right now is going to be the mirror I'm using today to try and get a full face of makeup done. Now, I'm not going to have you look at me like this, I'll have you look at me like this, so you guys have the better quality to work with and get to see all my expressions of what I'm actually doing. But I'm not going to be looking in a mirror, I'm going to be looking here, and hopefully my makeup's going to turn out fine. There is a sticky note over my camera. I can obviously see myself in my camera. There's a little green sticky note over it so I can't see myself. And there's no mirror inside, so I genuinely can't see myself anywhere but here. I'm gonna try my best and make sure everything looks normal to me in the webcam, even though it feels like I shouldn't be doing this much or I should be doing more. I'm just gonna go based on what it really looks like. And then at least there will be one true video out there on how to really do your makeup if you have to look good in a Zoom meeting. Now, I would say I like video calls, I like getting to see people, and I like when people show me things, but I don't like unexpected video calls. To be honest, I don't like anything unexpected. Surprises sound good in theory, but in practice, they don't seem to be the best thing to me. And video chats definitely fall in this category. I'd like to know when you want to video chat. And then I can set everything up all nice. I have a tripod, so I can put my phone up on the tripod so you can see me without me swinging it around the whole time. I can make sure my phone is nice and charged and that the Wi-Fi is actually working, and that I have nothing that I have to do in the next 10 to 15 minutes, so we can get a good chat in when I'm actually going to see you face to face. And I wouldn't say I was a stranger to the whole video chat thing before lockdown started. I have two friends that live overseas, Emma and Trude. And Emma and I don't talk too much, but on occasion Trude and I would get together for like a good hour or more and then just chat about whatever's happening. You actually pronounce her name Trude, it's a Norwegian name. And she's one of the first people I ever really Skyped, and she's the person where I learned the ropes and all that. So I really appreciate the fact that she helped me learn how everything works before I had to know how everything works. Even though I think the first time ever I was on Skype, because these are the days before Zoom was a big thing, I had to Skype with one guy in my class in like grade 9, grade 8. We had to work on a project together, and he didn't want to stay after school to do it. So he's like, oh, I'll just Skype you. And I was like, I've heard of that word before, we can try it. And it was a good half hour of us getting absolutely nothing done on the project. And I ended up doing the whole thing myself, which is just a good summary of what high school was like.
High school? It's a good summary of what group work is like.
Yeah, this was group work in high school. Group work in uni has been a lot better, hey? You haven't had nice group work in uni. However, the group work week I've done in uni has been getting together once. You're doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Cool, we'll see each other on the due date, and that was it.
That sounds nice.
It was really nice. Not that this video is about group work, but the only other place that we did group work would be in the lab, and then I'd usually be in charge of what's going on because I want to get done as fast as possible. So I'd be like, okay, you do the things where you like just fill it up or just clean it. I'll do the actual practical part where it's all complex and to figure out what you're doing. And then the person's usually just like, I don't want to be here, so okay, I'll do whatever you tell me so I don't have to figure it out myself. I'm not looking in my mirror. I'm very tempted to, because I'm sure my contour isn't as nice as it usually is. But it looks fine, like, that's what it's supposed to look like. You're not allowed to make faces at me. That's where we cheated last time.
I won't, yeah, and I'm keeping a straight face this time.
The neighbor was also in the background when I filmed my no mirror makeup challenge, which is very similar to this. He was making faces. I was like, okay, cool, I did my foundation. He was like, is that it? And I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong with it? And yeah, he helped a little bit. But in terms of video chats, I occasionally video chat my older sister. She often has stuff to show me. She seems to be a lot more of a visual person. So she'd be like, can I video call you? I want to show you this. I want to ask your opinion about this or whatnot. And I don't mind it. She usually lets me know beforehand. Honestly, most times during a call with her, at some point she'd be like, can we change this to a video chat? And it's like, yeah, okay, we can. How's that for my contour today? We also had family video calls on WhatsApp, and that was chaos every time. There'd be 4 of us on and everyone be talking at the same time. Then we'd all realize, oh no, someone else is talking. So we'd stop and then we'd all be quiet at the same time. And then that would pretty much just keep happening. And then like 2 of us would start talking while the other 2 are talking to each other. And then my sister would be like, oh, I want to show you this new dog toy I got or something. And then I'd show something back. And then my other sister would think I'm showing her and then start showing me something. And then we're all kind of talking as if we were just in separate chats in any way. It was chaotic, but it was a lot of fun.
Isn't that a Zoom call in general?
Yep.
I think internet quality plays a big role.
The lag, yo. The lag is a serious thing. I do not enjoy that. Not that I understand why we have lag here. We're in the city where things should work, but the Wi-Fi wasn't doing too well for a really long time. We luckily had someone check and put a router in and whatnot. It's been better. But before this, we were on a farm where you can't really rely on the Wi-Fi.
Even though it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad, but it was slow and it had its moments where it just flat out didn't work.
100%.
I remember the last time I was in a video chat with my friend in Norway. She was telling me about stuff that was happening at work, and I was telling her about stuff that was happening where I was working. And yes, I'm still gonna make a video about that. I have not forgotten. But while we were mid-convo, the power went out, which is a thing that happens here. And I saw someone commented to ask, like, what do you mean the power is out? What is wrong with your grid that it goes out that much? It's not that there's something wrong with the grid. There's something wrong with the whole system. Way back when, they weren't planning on supporting so many people with the electrical system, and the people increased really fast. So our national electricity system can't supply to everyone at once. So instead of waiting for it to trip and for the whole country to have a blackout, they just put off certain sections at a time so that the demand is not more than the supply. And usually we get warned. They tell us it'll be off for like 2 hours, 3 hours this time of the day. But other times they like the element of surprise. And it's something that's pretty normal to us now because we know it happens. We know it's going to come back on eventually. But I always find it entertaining when there's someone from overseas where this doesn't happen, because this happens in South Africa and I'm sure in a few other countries. But if someone is from a place where this doesn't happen and their power goes out, or they hear about mine going out, they're always like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Is it the end of the world? And I'm like, no, it's just load shedding. But yeah, load shedding happened. I told Trude it might be happening because we got a warning that it's going to happen at 9. And I told her if it suddenly goes out, that's what happened. But it was 10 past 9 and I was like, maybe I'm lucky. Maybe they're not going to do it today. Oh man, there's so much highlighter on my finger where I was trying to rub it off, which means I probably have so much on my cheeks. Oh my gosh. But I don't see anything on my cheeks on camera. Okay, I do a little bit. Okay, the brows are popping. But like I was saying, it was like 10 past 9 and I thought maybe they just forgot to turn it off this time. It's fine. And we were just chatting and then the power went out. And it was just suddenly dark and I was like, okay, the power went out, and then the Wi-Fi cut and everything. And we've texted, but we haven't had a video call since, and I really think we should have another one. I should actually ask her. We luckily haven't had video chats for our classes. We use this application called Blackboard through the university's portal. And all the students are muted. We don't have the chance to say anything. The lecturer can choose to unmute us and then we can all speak. But we're generally muted, so we have the chat where we can communicate with them and they read our questions. And then the lecturer, who is, I think they call them presenters? Yeah, they're like designated as a presenter, and then they're the only people that can share their screen and share slides and you can hear them talk. So no one's had to see me yet. Not like that. I'd say my blush looks pretty normal on screen. The only thing that doesn't look normal is his nose highlight. It looks a little bit brighter than usual, but there's nothing I can do about that now. I'm gonna spray some setting spray because I'm done with the powders on my face. I really want to use my Born to Run palette today, and I'm gonna go for like a neutral classic makeup look with a little bit of a colorful twist. That's the plan. Which may make it harder than it has to be because it's a cut crease, but why would I want to make it easy today? Anyways, The other place where I have come into contact with actually showing your face would be when I attend meetings for being a demi. I help the university with marking the practicals of the first years, and after every assignment they have to hand in, we have a meeting where we go through the memo and talk about how they want us to mark everything. They also tell us when it's due and where we can find the work, what our groups are, and all the details we have to know to actually do what they're paying us to do. And they always choose to do this on Google Meets, which works quite fine because I get the email, and then when it's the time for this meeting, I just click on the link. Then you get this loading page where you can click to join the meeting, and then you have to wait for someone to let you in so you don't just pitch unannounced. And basically all of your cameras are on and all of your microphones are on, so we can all talk directly to each other. Even though most of us choose to just use the chat option, we turn our mics off and we turn our cameras off and just chat because that's what we've been doing in class this whole time. We can technically unmute ourselves, and when we join the chat, our camera and microphones are already on. So every time someone new joins the conversation, their face pops up for a second until they can actually hit that button to turn the camera off, which, wow, a few people do really, really quick. I have a beautiful little sticky note over my camera so you can't see me even though it's on. And do I make sure my microphone is off. My sneaky tactic to make sure you can't hear me even though I might have left it on is I have a set of earphones that doesn't have a microphone in it, and I just plug that into my earphone jack. And then my computer says, cool, the audio is being recorded via the earphones. And I'm like, great, because they can't. So no one gets to see me caught off guard on camera whenever I join a meeting. I covered all my bases. I feel like this eye is darker than this eye, and I feel like it's not blended nearly as well as I think it is. But I'm gonna make it work. This is what it's looking like to me right now. It's not very dark, and I don't know how the cut crease part of it's gonna go, but let's try and blend that edge a little bit more. I'm not gonna try and do a little bit of a cut crease. I'm really gonna be leaning into my camera, and I'm really gonna hope to all that is good that it ends up relatively even. So let me do that part before I tell you more stories. Do I feel like that actually came out smooth?
Well,
The cut crease part. Like, I'm proud.
it really did.
Now I have to do the other side. I think I messed up in this inner corner a little bit, so I'm gonna take some of that dark brown again on a really thin brush and try and just shape that part out. Oh my gosh, I can't see anything that I'm doing. That looks a lot better from my perspective. I can't see that bump anymore. But I do want to make it even, so I'm going to take a little bit of brown and put it here, so that if it's darker in the inner corner, at least it's doing that on both sides. I'm going to jump into this colorful palette of mine because I want a nice, bright, hot pink. So I'm going to pick up this one down here, and I'm going to carefully apply it on this inner part of the cut crease. I kind of only want the edge to be pink. Now I need to go back in and make another cut crease because I just want it to be a thin little pink accent line. I don't know why we're doing this today. Actually, maybe it was my plan all along to do these type of makeup looks when I'm doing challenges like these, because I have an excuse if my makeup doesn't turn out nice. So I can try extravagant things, and it's not my fault if it doesn't look good at the end. Okay, all I can see is a tiny sliver of pink, so I'm gonna call that good. I have to try and do the same on the other side. That's gonna have to cut it. But I don't want to open my eyes too much because I don't want to transfer onto the pinks, and I have to dive into the colorful things and set everything. Gonna go in with Blaze because it's my favorite gold color right now. And yeah, I'm joking about messing up my makeup now, but there's been a few times where I really did mess up my makeup and I severely regretted it. The first one that comes to mind was in first year. I was gonna go on a date, and I was trying a new foundation for the first time. It was the Body Shop one. And it smelled like eucalyptus, so I put it on and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna smell like this all night. Isn't that just a wonderful thing? How romantic. But I also wasn't standing in the bathroom to look in the mirror. I wasn't using my normal mirror. I don't know why not. I was using the mirror in the bathroom instead. I actually think it was so that I didn't go overboard, because whenever I sit down with my mirror, dramatic things happen. But I didn't want to stand in the harsh bathroom light from above, because I was like, no, that's gonna make it come out funny, because the lighting's gonna make it look funny. Then when I step outside, it's not gonna look the same. And then I was like, you know what would be an absolutely great idea? What if I just stand in the hallway, just outside of the bathroom, without the hallway light on, so I'm in dimmer light, and then it'll come out more natural looking. Then, because I was in the dimmer lighting, when I stepped into normal lighting, it looked a little weird. Like things were harsher than it was supposed to be, and I was just, nah, it was not a good day. But luckily we went to a club and you couldn't see my makeup in good lighting anyway, so it didn't matter. Another time I did something similar, I was like, I'm gonna do a little bit of makeup to class. This was also in first year. Why don't I do something that looks a little cute, that could only be fun? And I just did something basic. I did like a little bit of concealer, not even eyeliner, just a little bit of mascara, and I wanted to put on some blush, but I was walking around and talking to my roommate while I was doing it, and I wasn't paying attention. So when I actually looked at myself again after putting on blush, I went in with way too much of that stuff. And like I tried really hard to blend it out. I tried putting some powder foundation over it, something to make it look better, but it was just not going away. So I ended up having to take off all my makeup before class in anyways. I also did my makeup in Starbucks for a random places tutorial, which was a lot of fun, but my camera was standing on the other side of the table, so I wasn't really close to it and I couldn't really see myself in it. And I didn't want to hold up my palettes too much because I don't want the people to see what I'm doing. I don't want people to be like, who's this creep doing her makeup in Starbucks? Even though a lot of people saw what I was doing. There was no getting around it, which is part of the fun of those videos. But I was rushing, so of course I messed up my eyeliner and I messed it up really bad. And I couldn't fix it. I tried covering it with concealer so it looked better. And that didn't work because that just made it smudge a whole lot more. And I spent like a good 10 minutes trying to fix the disaster that my eyeliner was. I don't think I showed it in the video. But because it ended up being so messy, I was like, thank goodness the camera's far away from me. No one had to see what happened here. I want to get back to telling you stories about people on webcams, but I can't talk while doing things like eyeliner. So let me quickly throw some eyeliner on so we can move on. My eyeliner looks super cute in the webcam, and I'm gonna believe this is what it looks like today. I wouldn't say that turned out half bad. This one might be a little squiggly, but that's how it's gonna be. So, webcam stories. I love listening to Reddit stories. That's what I do whenever I'm like washing the dishes or something like that, where I'm busy with something that's not really mentally taxing. I would listen to Reddit stories in the background, and I find them very entertaining. It's reality TV, but better. And I think the best story to come from Reddit was one where the wife had just gotten out of the shower and she was like, yo, I'm gonna make a smoothie and take it to my husband. And she knew he was on a meeting, but she didn't realize it was gonna be a cameras on meeting. So after her shower, she went to get the smoothie, didn't bother to get dressed because she was still in the process of getting ready, walked into the office and handed him the smoothie. And he looked at her like she was crazy, and she was kind of just like, what? And then she realized she was butt naked on screen with her husband in front of not only his boss, but important client from overseas and like the CEO and all that jazz. And then she just like quickly got out of that room. Which, wouldn't you too? Like, what do you do in that situation? You just run away. Reason number one why you shouldn't just walk around naked in your house. And then on Instagram, I'm sure we all saw a few instances where someone either just went to the bathroom while they were on camera. I don't know why. They would just like take their laptop with them and go to the toilet. And then everyone can watch them do their business. Very gross. Would never do that. Not that the going to the bathroom part is gross. We all literally have to do that. But the fact that you're willing to do it in front of all your classmates, man, not cool. There's also a guy who was in a very important 10 a.m. meeting and poured himself a healthy glass of red wine. And his boss called him afterwards and was like, yo dude, this is a professional meeting. You can't be drinking wine. And he was like, oh sorry, I didn't realize the cameras were on, but like, not drinking on the job, I'm still at home. You can't tell me what I'm allowed to do. And the boss said touche, and next time he had a beer with him when they were in a meeting. If you have had any fun instances with webcams since lockdown has started, I would love to hear about it. I think the closest thing I have to an embarrassing story is related to my microphone. I thought it was off while I was in a meeting and I was kind of talking trash about what they were telling us at the meeting because I was disagreeing. So I was talking to the neighbor and I was like, it's so unfair. How can they say this? We thought it was going to work like this. Now they're changing it. And I was complaining about it out loud while we were in the meeting. And then the one person who's in charge, like the chick above the chick who's my boss, she said, oh yeah, Griselda, your mic's on. Can you please turn it off? And I was like, oh my gosh, did they just hear all of that? I am in so much trouble if they just heard all of that. I literally just froze. I stopped talking mid-sentence and I scrambled to make sure my microphone was off, and it was off. So I was so confused So I turned it on again and then off again, and I was like, it has to be off. And then the chick was like, oh no, sorry, I meant this person. And I was like, what a heart attack that you like mixed up our names. Like the name is on the screen. How did you mess it up? I wanted to die. But luckily, they didn't hear me complaining and I didn't get in trouble. Hey, I haven't seen it yet. But what do you think?
It's not bad.
Not bad?
Yeah.
It looks
For doing it on a computer screen.
For doing it on a computer screen. It looks cute. Like I like what I'm seeing right now. But let's see what it looks like to the real world. It looks like makeup. I like to think. It doesn't look terrible. I thought the blush would be too much because it's a little pink on camera, but it's not. I like can't see the blush in this camera at all. That eyeliner though. This eyeliner. I don't know what happened there. My lashes aren't showing. I'm just gonna curl them again. You still can't see them because the eyeliner is too thick. I am totally missed the edges of my lips. Like, there's like a messy line out here. Like the spot where the lip line will go, that whole gap's open. I don't know how that happened. I was worried I was going like over my cupid's bow. The foundation, I didn't blend it in around my nose, so it's patchy there. Oh my goodness. The eyebrows aren't the worst actually. They're a little patchy down here, but it's hard to mess up eyebrows because I do them the very easy cheat tap away. I didn't even color in all the eyeliner. There's a massive gap here. How did I not see that? Here, I just have a random line coming out of the eyeliner, because why not? You can see the bags underneath my eyes a lot more than you can in camera. I look all awake and youthful on the computer screen, not so much in real life. I thought the nose contour was going to be too heavy, but I honestly think it's fine. I think I should have just I should have put some powder here and entirely forgot to do that. And the pink is messy, I'll give you that. It's messy, but it doesn't look that bad from a distance. So next time I think my makeup's messy, I'm just gonna go out with it anyways. Ain't nobody gonna be the wiser. But let me put some powder here, it'll make me feel better. I also thought the highlighter was gonna be way too much, but it's actually not. Like, it's a lot more blinding on the computer screen than it is here. But now you can see what I mean by it looks different on screen, because the way you're seeing it right now looks different to how you're seeing it right now. The colors look different to me. And that's just because every camera differs. You're gonna have that, and that's why you get to edit the lighting and the coloring in all fancy video editing apps. I need to get my hands on those someday. But then this is it for today. I had a lot of fun doing this because I didn't really have to focus that much on the makeup. If I was messing up, I couldn't really see it, so it was a lot more relaxing to do it. And it was exciting wondering how it was going to turn out at the end. Also had a lot of fun just talking to you guys about webcams and telling you random nonsense related to that. Please remember to let me know in the comments if you have any funny webcam stories. I would definitely love to hear about them. But then, like I said, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And if that is the case, please feel free to hit that like button so that I have a higher chance of showing up in search results. YouTube tends to like people who have people that like their videos. And as usual, while you're down there, it would be a great time to hit that subscribe button too, because who knows what I'll be doing next week. But then I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye! I like the pink look thing. The fact that there's like a little hint of pink. It changed the normal neutral look to something different.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like a quadruple cut crease though. Why? There has to be an easier way to do it.